guys, this is Tracy Lambert from Lines from the Vine. You know I'm always looking for a quiet place to come sit and record these videos, so today I'm out on my porch. It's not quite so quiet. It is raining and not even 80 degrees in August in Alabama. That is just a crazy, wonderful blessing, but we're going to take it. In any case, today I wanted to come and talk to you about something I have been dealing with for the last year, and I know many of you don't even read my blog, but you are dealing with some kind of heel pain, and so stumbled across this video hoping to find relief. That was me. And I actually have seen several videos on YouTube. I have read so many blog posts just trying to find some relief for this heel pain that I was having that just really didn't make sense to me at the time, and was really debilitating, for lack of a better word. So if you're watching this video, it hurts, and I know where you're at. I know what it feels like to not want to move, because you know the minute you stand up, you're going to be in a lot of pain or feel like you're not even going to be able to stand there. I've been there. So a quick backstory. I have a baby that's about a year old. When I first got pregnant with him, I had gotten me some new shoes. They were just little slip-on Skechers black shoes that didn't have to be laced up, and I thought, hey, this is going to be great because I can wear these throughout my pregnancy, and they seemed comfortable enough. And they weren't the cheapest shoes. They were, I don't know, around $60, and I had gotten them at the mall, felt really good about them, felt like they were going to be a good fit for what I needed to get me through my pregnant months. They were going to be, he was a spring baby, so I knew I'd be wearing it with jeans, and I could wear them with skirts or whatever. So anyway, long story short, about 3 weeks after I got them, my feet just started feeling tired. I would get home, take my shoes off, and feel like I needed to just rub my feet. And I've never felt that way. I've always had, you know, my feet have always not really hurt when I've walked on them. I don't really wear high heels, so I've just not had that kind of issue. I just assumed maybe it was because I was pregnant. I am an older mama, so it could have been that. I don't know. But, you know, I kept wearing them. I'd spent a lot of money on them, and they were intended to get me through that pregnancy, and so I wasn't willing to just throw them away. So that was one of the lessons that I've learned, is that Skechers, I see it online. I love them. They're cute, but they're terrible shoes. They have no support in them at all, and I should have known then that that was probably not the best thing for my feet. I just wasn't really thinking about it, and just decided I was gonna push through and wear them until I had worn them out, so that it wouldn't be a waste of money. I see things a little differently now, but this is one of those live and learn kind of things. So anyway, the months went on, and my feet were just more and more and more sore. They were just so sore, and I would switch shoes at that point, trying to see if it was my shoes or, you know, I just didn't know. But I had the baby, and about 6 weeks after he was born, I literally could not stand up. My feet were hurting so bad every day. My ankles literally felt like they were broken. I had to stand up and sort of get my balance and make the decision to just take a step forward. And it seemed like as I would walk, my feet would hurt less, but the minute I sat down, you know, getting back up, I would repeat the process all over again. And so it was just not a good situation, and they were just incredibly painful, and I know that I don't have to describe this kind of pain to you. Unlike a lot of people that I have talked to, I actually had plantar fasciitis in both feet. My left foot, I had surgery on when I was in 9th grade, and so my tendons have been reworked a little bit in that foot. It still to this day hurts quite a bit. And I will tell you, before you get to the end of this video, plantar fasciitis is not one of those things that I have heard from anyone just goes away. It's one of those things you learn to live with. For me, I'm learning to care for my feet a little differently and be a little more aware of what I'm wearing. Because of that, I can manage the pain, I can manage the condition, and it allows me to have my quality of life back. So just be aware that that is what you're dealing with. Throughout this year, I have tried all sorts of things, which is why I decided to post this video, because I feel like I'm finally getting some relief, and I want to be able to share that with other people, because so much of what I was reading, I just really wasn't getting any relief from. I tried a lot of things. We spent a lot of money trying to find some relief for my feet. So I'm just going to quickly go through some of these things. I actually have written them down. If you feel like reading more, if you want to read more, you can go to my blog site, linesfromthevine.com, and you can read the whole story there. I would love to know if you found some shoe that works better than others that is not a fortune. And sorry, my hand is shaking. I would really like to know what those are, because I'm still trying to find shoes that work a little better than what I have. I know that winter's coming, so what I'm wearing right now is not going to work long term. So anyway, so those were my Skechers. So that was one of the first things that I learned was the Skechers shoes. Just because you spend a lot of money on shoes doesn't mean that they're going to last a long time. So you really, you know, if your feet start hurting, there's a reason why, and it's probably a good idea to just go ahead and swap them out then before you end up with something bad. Also, lesson learned, pregnant women really need to take care of their, sorry I had rain on my glasses, need to take care of their feet and wear better shoes probably than most women do. I think that the hormones that are released that allow you to birth babies also probably make it so that, you know, those tendons and ligaments in your feet aren't quite as tight as they normally are, and they are more susceptible, I think, to strain and to injury, and I really just think it was sort of setting me up for the perfect storm where my feet were concerned. So, again, it's raining, so you have to excuse the water on my glasses. In any case, so that was that. Pregnant women should have good shoes. Alright, so I did a lot of research on plantar fasciitis. I've tried so many things, and very quickly, the things that didn't work for me. One of the first things I did was go to Walmart and buy Dr. Scholl's inserts. They're about, somewhere around $50. Some of you probably already tried these. They're supposed to be custom fit. Oh, good grief. Custom fit. They're okay. I think if you didn't have something like plantar fasciitis, they probably would give your feet some extra cushioning. They might feel really good. For this particular condition, that's pretty much useless. I had also gotten plantar fasciitis inserts from another shoe store. That didn't work at all. I ordered some splints that I wish I had, but I don't. I've thrown them away. But they were supposed to Velcro in a position so that your feet stayed, you know, your foot and your ankle stayed in its more natural position rather than allowing your foot to relax more at night the way they do, sort of with your toes pointed down. I slept in those for a few nights. Honestly, those were so uncomfortable. I wasn't sleeping and my feet were still hurting, so they just went in the trash. They didn't work. That was money, I won't say wasted, because if it keeps somebody else here from buying those same splints, then, you know, that's great. But for me, that did not work. Pretty much any insert sold at Walmart, none of them would work. I've literally tried almost every single insert at Walmart. I could have went line by line down the rows of inserts and none of them worked at all for this particular condition. Again, I'm sure they're great for some things, but this is a bigger problem. Your feet really need some support so they can heal, and none of those inserts are good enough to give that kind of support. So, most of the shoes labeled orthotic or for plantar fasciitis, most of them don't help at all. I hope that that's not leaving you hopeless, but I'm just being real. Most of them just really weren't a help, and I have tried a lot of shoes this year. So, you know, I'm just telling you the truth. Essential oils. I am one of those people that uses essential oils for some things. If we have a tummy ache, we may have peppermint oil. If we have a headache, we may pull the essential oils out. I did try it on my feet. I'm not believing that essential oils are a cure-all for everything, and this certainly is one of those conditions that I really couldn't tell it helped my feet at all. And the same for muscle rubs. Your feet are really, really sore at night, and so the muscle rubs will give you some temporary warmth if that's something that, you know, is soothing to you. But as far as long-term solutions, no, they're not going to work. Also, I went to the podiatrist and we spent $400 to get a pair of custom orthotics made for me. These slide into the back of their shoe, and you see they're very rigid. I can knock on them. They were made according to my specific feet type. And so, I mean, they literally wrapped my feet in like plaster of Paris or something and made these. And they may have helped for a couple of days, and then they started making my feet hurt even worse. And so that was $400 that was not well spent. I wish I hadn't done that. The podiatrist really didn't give me any other answers. He just told me that I needed better foot support, and that's what he was trying to provide for me. I think that my feet were so inflamed and just hurting so much that that hard plastic especially, that was excruciating. At the point you have plantar fasciitis, you just need some real cushioning and you know, some TLC for your feet. So those, I would never buy those again. I mean, that's just me, but I would never buy them again. Okay, so some things that did work. Ibuprofen. If you're hurting really bad, some good old-fashioned Motrin, that will help you relieve the symptoms. My podiatrist actually told me to take Motrin for a week. Of course, this is not meant to replace your doctor, so please don't, you know, take Motrin, have some kind of reaction, and then come back and say, hey, this is all your fault, Tracy. Ask your doctor first. But for me, Motrin did help. It took down some of the swelling. It's what my podiatrist told me to do for a week. It did give me some initial relief. As soon as that week was over, and that was with my feet taped, by the way. This is in between him taking the molds, the casts, I guess, making the casts for my inserts, and me actually getting the inserts. He wrapped my feet in tape and had me take Motrin and ice my feet every day, and there was some initial relief there. But I mean, come on, you're on Motrin. So Motrin is going to take the pain away. It did not last very long at all. The second thing was, and I mean, but it did help. So let me go back and say it did help. It just didn't, it wasn't a long-lasting thing. And I'm here to help you find some long-lasting solutions. The second thing was I kept being told to roll bottles of frozen water under my feet. Okay, now that did help. But what I found worked better were frozen cans of vegetables, because the contour of those cans, I think, is just a little bigger, and your feet are hurting so bad that those cans can sort of contour to your feet, I guess, can contour to the frozen can a little better than the 20-ounce bottles of water. And so, and they stay cold longer, and I still have a couple of cans of frozen vegetables in my freezer for this purpose, because if I've had a really bad day and my feet are hurting, then that's going to be what works for me to provide some instant relief. So, okay, the thing that I started finding was giving me the most relief was stretching. And a couple of these are going to sound really weird, but just bear with me. First of all, the warrior pose in yoga, one of the things that I read that I came across was talking about the warrior pose. You'll have to look that up. But it stretches the back of your ankle and the bottom of your foot in such a way that once you've stretched out, you really do get some relief for a while. And so that was very, very helpful. I also found that in the morning, and I've got a cat sitting up on this table, by the way. Say, hey, Zoe. Say, hey, kitty. Anyway, in the mornings when I was getting dressed or you know, in the bathroom for whatever reason, but if you're sitting on the toilet, the angle at which your feet can rest against the base of the toilet, like if you've got your toes on the floor and your heel resting against the porcelain part of the toilet, it really is a deep stretch in your feet. And I had found that in the morning while I was putting my makeup on or fixing my hair, if I sat there and stretched my feet out really, really good, and maybe it was also the addition of the porcelain being cold, I'm not sure, but that really, really provided me some much needed relief for my feet, and a great stretch that I gave me relief. I don't know, it's one of the best things I did. You can also do that standing in a room with your hands against a wall and your feet back about 2 feet, I guess, from the wall. And if you're facing that wall and you like bend your elbows so that your face is against the wall but your feet are still 2 feet out, it make your heels stay on the floor. It really stretches your ankles and those that tissue out in your feet that gets so tight when you have plantar fasciitis. So that might help. And that's just a tip. Hopefully one of those will help you. On to the and honestly, I think stretching is probably one of the greatest sources of relief that I have gotten. Believe it or not, walking. I started walking in March of this year. It's been one of the best things. I can tell when I haven't walked, it seems like my feet are more tight, and those muscles and ligaments and tendons, all that is much more tight than they normally are. I've gone a couple of days without walking right now for obvious reasons, and my feet are just, they're not the same. They're very sore and tight, and I just don't really want to move around a whole lot today. So walking really will help. I walk between 2.5 and 3 miles, I guess, I don't know, 4 to 5 days a week probably would be fair. And I can tell a really big difference if I miss even one day. So it's been a good excuse to get out and exercise. Walking is a good thing. So my shoes, one of the things I realized when I realized the Skechers, the damage that the Skechers had done to my feet, was I was also looking at my tennis shoes that I was normally walking in when I started walking, and realizing that the insides were just not as supportive as they used to be. And as I read, I realized tennis shoes actually have an expiration date. You're not supposed to wear tennis shoes forever and ever. And my tennis shoes still looked pretty good, and so I didn't have any reason to throw them out. But the difference that, my feet felt so much better after I replaced my tennis shoes. So I've learned that it's important that even if they look good, to go ahead and replace them. And what I did a lot of research on plantar fasciitis and buying tennis shoes and walking shoes. Asics, I'm going to show my Asics, are the ones that are most recommended. I had a little bit of a hard time because they have this really foamy bottom. Most of the newer ones do that I saw at the Academy Sports Store, and that was not going to work for me. That would have put me back in the same place that I was with my Skechers. I needed a much harder bottom to my shoes, so it took me a little longer to find those. I think I did end up ordering them off Amazon. You probably could look there. These are called Asics Gel Venture 5, and they've been pretty good shoes. I have had them now for about 6 months. I can already tell that they're getting worn and that I'm probably going to need to change them out soon. So those did help. Those are what I stay in when I'm walking in the morning. The second shoes that I got are these. These are my black clogs, and I'll show you those. These shoes were about $200. I wore these for a long time, and a couple of things have happened that are really funny. First of all, I cannot wear these shoes out without somebody saying, "Ooh, you got some nice shoes." And I love that. I mean, they're cute shoes. I can wear them with jeans. I can wear them with skirts. I haven't worn them because, again, summer in Alabama and it's hot. And so I put them on after having walked for 5 or 6 months, and I realized they're too big. So now I gotta go back and get some new shoes. I don't feel like I've really lost any weight walking, but apparently I've lost some in my feet. I had no idea that would happen, but some of the swelling has at least gone down in my feet. So that's good to know. But anyway, those are from the Walking Company. We have a store, the Walking Company store at our local mall, and they have you walk across this pad on the floor, and it's computerized, so it tells them exactly where the spots are in your feet that you need more support, where the trouble areas are, and so they give you a custom insert for your shoes. And you'll have to excuse mine are all worn out. This is what my custom inserts look like. And what I've done is they literally slide right into your shoes. I slide these into all the shoes I wear. I just take them out and slide them into all the shoes, unless I am wearing my tennis shoes, and for whatever reason they are not, they're just my shoes. My tennis shoes aren't, tall enough to accommodate my foot with the insert, and so that just doesn't work. But for the most part, if I'm going to wear any other shoes, then I'll take those inserts out of my Walking Company shoes. And I'm trying to see if there's a brand name on these. Obea, maybe? O-B-E-A. I don't know. Maybe somebody can make that out. Excuse the bottom part of my nasty shoe. In any case, they've been great shoes. They're just too big now. So, one of the other things that I have done is I took my little plastic inserts, and I bought these. Excuse how nasty these are. I'm telling y'all, I've lived in these. These are cut to fit Dr. Scholl's inserts. This is the only thing at Walmart in their foot aisle that I found to be helpful at all. I cut them to fit, and then I did add them to the top of my podiatry inserts, and those can go in my tennis shoes. They're thin enough so that if my foot feels like it's just having, more than the normal amount of issues, which I haven't had happen in a long time, but in those early months, there were days that I would I couldn't wear the podiatry inserts by themselves, but with the cut to fit inserts over the top of the plastic ones, it was just enough cushioning to allow my foot to, you know, be comfortable and to be able to tolerate the inserts. So that is another option for you. All right, so on to the next shoes, which I'm gonna have to take off. I live in these. These came off of Amazon. I did a lot of research, excuse me, on shoes for plantar fasciitis and came across these. These are Telex, and they're flip-flops, and they're great for summertime here, but again, this is one of those things where I'm wearing flip-flops all the time now, and I'm gonna have to figure out what I can substitute for those when the weather gets cold, because it will get cold enough here that flip-flops are too cool. But they are amazing. There are other options for people with plantar fasciitis in flip-flops and sandals on Amazon, but they're all like, I don't know, nearly $100. These were $30, and they come in a ton of colors, and they're not cute, glitzy flip-flops. But when I tell you I have gotten the most healing from my feet from wearing these flip-flops around the house, I'm not kidding. I now wear them to the grocery store. If I'm getting out of the bed to go to the restroom at night, I've got my Telex on, because they cushion my foot so much that I really believe they have allowed my feet to heal, and I'm so thankful. And so that is, if you're really in a lot of pain, this is a great time to buy you some Telex. It's not much of an investment, and I guarantee you they will mold to your feet and give you enough support so that you will at least be relieved of most of that pain. I can't promise all of it will go away, but it will definitely help you a whole lot. As a side note, this summer it's sandal season, and so I found these at Walmart, which were really cute, and I'm going to try to show this side. They're a little more form-fitted, and they're Dr. Scholl's flip-flops. They were $20 at Walmart. They were the first sandals I have found not on Amazon or not in like an orthopedic store, made in such a way that they had that firmer arch support, and so I've actually been able to wear those for about a month and a half. I can tell that the firmness, like the support, is not quite as much as it was when I first bought them, and so I've been looking around the Walmarts trying to find me some replacement pair, and I can't find them anywhere. I'm guessing I should have bought a few pair when they first had them, so but I didn't know, and I honestly had no hope that they would work, because you know, nothing else had up until that point. And so if you see the Dr. Scholl's sandals though and you're hurting, that's definitely a good option for you. So anyway, but Telex are what I would suggest. Well, that's my plantar fasciitis story. That's what's helped, that's what hasn't helped. I would love to hear your suggestions on shoes that might be closed-toed for winter. You know, it's a little too warm here, even in the winter, to wear like heavy boots, but something that's got some support and will be comfortable and I can wear with dresses, that would be great. If you have any other suggestions, something that I haven't mentioned here, I would love to hear it, because I'm still learning about this condition. I have lived with it now for a year, and I have seen doctors, but I am very aware that there are probably things that I don't know. You know, acupuncture is one of those things I think I would love to know about. Has anybody had acupuncture done for plantar fasciitis? I have really wondered if that would help. So that is an option that I still have out there. But most other things, I think I'm going to be just living with this condition, I'm sorry to say. So I don't know. Anyway, I would love to hear your thoughts. You can visit me on my blog at linesfromthevine.com to read more of my story with plantar fasciitis, and tell me what's going on with your feet. I hope that you find some relief, and thanks for visiting me. Bye-bye.